When it comes to digitalization of payments on B2B, that for me it's very interesting, because even though that now we see that companies are buying more online than selling online, we see that when you compare it to B2B and B2C, on the digital payments view, we see that digital payments on B2C is already 70%. But like when it comes to B2B payments, we are talking about just 30%, which is something that we really need to pay close attention on it. And why is that? We can say that pretty much 70% of like the entire procurement flow or like purchase flow for all the companies are being done in an analogic way. So without a digital payment, so you rely on legacy rails. And we are going to talk over here during the day-to-day more about on the challenges and why we need to pay more attention and optimize and how we can optimize this flow of digital payments for B2B. So talking about the pain points here, what we see is definitely, of course, things that here probably some of you have already heard about, like the stop complaints. First of them, lack of payment options. So you are willing to buy something. So basically we're selling in Brazil, in Colombia, in Kenya, in India, and your merchants, your customers, the companies that are buying from you are willing to purchase, but they cannot pay with their local payment method. So basically they have to do like a SWIFT transaction to be able to pay an invoice to you guys. That's the number one pay point across like the B2B vertical. The second piece here on the B2B vertical is about local currency. So, okay, all of you and all the companies are pretty much used on dealing with US dollars, euros, GBPs. But when it comes to rising markets, the localization is something that is extremely critical, especially because sometimes you are talking about exotic currencies. We are talking about countries with restrictions to access US dollars. So when you do not offer payments in local currency, definitely you are seeing our overall results being deteriorated. That's a fact. So that's the top two issues that we see here on the lack of localization on B2B payments. And the third one that I would like to mention is definitely the time to settle, the time to get the payments from the country, from your customer. So the overall timeline, and we are going to pass through that later today, it's pretty much 14 days for a B2B payments to be processed, like in an average rail, like on the rails that most of your customers are used to. And 14 days, when you are talking about FX volatility, when you are talking about having the need to use the service, or especially your collections team sometimes need to book the revenue, book the results, or register that, it's literally half of a whole month. So the slowness of the B2B payments standard rails is definitely something that deteriorates and jeopardizes the results of the vertical itself.